Welcome back to the channel, good friends. Brian from Apex Detail. We have the side skirts from the Aero kit for the C7 Corvette Stingray installed. So let's work on the front splitter and winglet. We have everything unboxed, unpacked, and ready to go. A few things you can gather before you start the project is a drill bit, Phillips head drill bit or Phillips head screwdriver, a scissors, double-sided tape, 9/32 socket here for the drill as well, or just a ratchet with a 9/32 will work. And also you're going to need some extra self-tapping screws, some nuts, bolts, and also a reaming device or a beveler so we can get the bolts flush on the winglets. The first thing Junior's going to do, as he did with the side skirts, is clean thoroughly. I'm also going to clean the front splitter in the meantime and get the double-sided tape stuck on there. What's going to hold this in place? Double-sided tape and self-tap screws. I will be replacing them with rivets in the near future because I am going to be dropping this and the bumper again to replace a grill and do some other work. And then when that's finally finished, I will replace the self-tappers and feel a lot better using rivets. The kit has outlines. They're used on each piece, and it shows you where you can put the double-sided tape for the best placement. This is a bit more difficult than the side skirts, doing it by yourself, so I recommend having somebody to help line it up. Put it up in place, line it up, and then start tacking it with the sticky tape, and then drive in your self-tap screws, one by one. Start at one end, line it up, work your way to the other, stop and check your work, make sure it's lined up on both ends. The kid did a good job lining it up. I can continue on driving in the self-tap screws from one side to the other. Let's get going. With that complete, and there will be 2 rows of self-tap screws to run in, we have yet to place the winglets. Everything's lined up nice, so let's get those out, clean them up, put on the double-sided tape, And we're going to have to do some drilling here. We're going to have to do some beveling and reaming of the holes. And the bolts and the nuts for this were not included. I went out and got some iodized black, which will match up perfectly here. Before drilling any holes, of course, with the double-sided tape to assist you, you can line it up, make sure it fits perfectly, fits where you want it to fit, and then you can take it back off and get your holes drilled. That's what I'm going to do here, starting with a small bit and graduating to 1/4 inch. So 1/8 inch to 1/4 inch is perfect. 1/4 inch is big enough for the iodized nuts and bolts that I picked up. Take the winglets back over to the splitter. Get the holes drilled from the winglets in through the splitter. Again, starting with 1/8 bit, graduating up to 1/4 inch bit. We're going to head back over to the tables again, and you see the iodized bolts that I picked up here. They are beveled. So we're going to have to do a little bit of reaming of the holes to get them to fit flush or even countersunk. So I have this Milwaukee that starts at 5/16, and you can work your way all the way up to 7/8, depending on the size of the hole that you want to step to. So with the first hole, not knowing exactly where I needed to stop, I just went one step at a time until the bolt fits flush like this. Continue on with the rest of the holes. Back over to your car and the splitter with the hardware. And since I don't want to mess these up, I'm going to use a paper towel and put that in between my Phillips heads so I don't chip the paint or do any type of damage. I am going to coat these eventually when everything is installed and cleaned up. So let's fit these up and attach them. Have a 10mm socket and ratchet ready, and that's exactly what the nut's going to be on the other end, so you can tighten them up firmly. You don't want to crank them down. Again, this is just composite. Driver's side is done. Everything's nice and snug, looking good. Let's hop over to the passenger side, get that attached, and we're pretty much finished with this portion of the project. And that will do it. Nothing to it really. Gives it the Grand Sport look, gives it a more aggressive, aerodynamic, sporty look to it. Now, one thing we want to do is do exactly what we did to the side skirts, and that's clean them up. Use an IPA solution first. Remove any oils, waxes, handprints, fingerprints. And then we can do a little bit of polishing with the McKee's SiO2 360 series. That is a cleaner polish, has a bit of SiO2, actually lays down the foundation base for the coating we're going to put on top of that, which will be Tax Systems Climax. We now have the front splitter and winglet portion of the Aero kit finish. What we have left is the wicker bill spoiler. That's done already. The footage is already shot. I just need to edit the upload, get it published, and I'll probably get that done within the next day or two. That will do it for today's video. I really do appreciate you guys stopping by and spending a little time with me. If you have any questions, don't hesitate. Brian from Apex Detail. Catch you in the next video.